With Alien Covenant in theaters now, be sure to relive the horror of the Alien Anthology. Affiliate links in the description below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and you guys know that I happen to be a big fan of the entertainment industry. I love the industry as a whole, and I really want to see it succeed in all formats because I feel that storytelling is one of the coolest things we can ever do, and the fact that we can do it now with such ease and the ability to distribute across the world at the same time at a moment's notice is utterly, utterly fantastic. But some people out there are never going to be happy when it comes to who gets into the club, who's not in the club, and in some respects, they are trying to force the government to step in and make a change, right? Which is, it just does not feel right to me at all. So lawmakers in New York, this is only happening in New York, they are trying to push through a bill that basically would incentivize producers to hire women or minority directors, women or minority writers for TV shows. In fact, the current bill would earmark about $5 million of the total $420 million that the state uses for film and television to pay the salaries of those women or minority writers or directors. And this is being, you know, very much championed through parts of Hollywood and beyond, as trying to say that it's more inclusive. It's a way to bring about more diverse voices and everything else. Now, I have been criticized heavily by saying I feel there should be more diverse voices in Hollywood. I do. I feel there should be way more diverse stories, way more diverse actors. Because I don't want the same person telling me the same story all the time. You know, if you look at Hollywood right now, just in movies, how many big name actors are there in movies every single year? There's like a handful. There's like a top 15 or 20 that we see every single year in movies. And it's hard to break into that upper echelon category. There are people who try. There are people who will get, like, you know, 3 movies in a summer, right? Like Taylor Kitsch back in 2012 had John Carter, Battleship, and Savages, all 3 tanked. And when's the last time you saw him? The guy from Avatar, Sam Huntington, or Worthington. I think Worthington. Huntington was a kid from Jungle to Jungle. But Worthington was in like Avatar and a bunch of other big movies, like Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans. And where has he been since then? You know, his stars fade. They don't always get to that point. But when it comes to forced diversity in Hollywood, I don't believe that works, because it's all about a meritocracy. It's all about how good you are. It's all about what you're able to do. It's all about what you're able to create. It's all about what you are able to bring to the table that is going to, well, let's be fair here, benefit the person with the fucking purse strings, because that's what it boils down to. And people want producers, executive producers, studio heads, they want to bring on people who make money. And when it comes to movies, it's, again, those certain actors bring in the dough, and yeah, they cycle in and out every couple of years, so on and so forth, but there's always that handful. When it comes to television, which is where this bill is particularly aimed at, it's a different story. But one of the reasons why this is being brought up is because CBS has announced their new lineup for the fall, and pretty much all the shows star white dudes. And that, again, is angering the people who want more diverse voices. And I'm not against that. I'm not against wanting different characters and different things and so on and so forth. But again, what, you know, the head of CBS says when it comes to the pilot season is that some pilots outlast other pilots. Not everything makes it. And that looks at it, again, from a meritocracy aspect of it. It's what's going to resonate well with the audience. Some things do, some things don't. And that is kind of how we have to approach Hollywood. Now, if you want my honest opinion when it comes to the writers and director side of things, I think it should be treated the way John Oliver actually set up the writer's room for Last Week Tonight. Everyone submits a resume, they remove the name off that resume, they look at the content, they look at the quality, then they pick out their favorites, and they go from there. When you start judging it based on whether or not you're a woman or you're a minority, then it almost feels like you're being used for somebody else's political agenda. I mean, forced diversity never works. We've learned that over the years. Affirmative action has not worked out to the way that they wanted it to, and a lot of people I've talked to, even minorities, are not a fan of affirmative action because they feel like they're being given something and they didn't earn something, and that pulls into a point of pride for people's own lives. What laws like this are set to do are they're set to take away the push for drive and ambition to get into the industry. Not everyone is going to get in. I spent 3 years in Los Angeles. I tried. multiple different angles to find a way to get in. And I thought I had it when it came to social media management and viral media marketing. And I just clashed with the producers because they realized we weren't meshing on the right level. And also at the time too, the social media craze was like dying. So there's that. But that's how it is. But then I moved over to YouTube, started talking on YouTube, started doing this. And here it is 5 years later. It's my full-time career, you know, and I'm loving what I do. This is how it goes. No one gave me a break. No one gave me anything. Nothing was earmarked to fund me. No special program for unemployed writers in Hollywood that are on food stamps and unemployment. There's nothing that benefited me except hard work and perseverance. And that is why I think Hollywood operates as the best meritocracy on the planet. Yes, there is the idea of it is all about who you know, right? And that is a lot to do with the writers programs. They have a lot of those things, a lot of those schools, a lot of those things in Hollywood and New York and whatnot, that allow people to get in and get those connections. But this is not about giving people the opportunity to even go to school to earn those connections. This is about earmarking millions of dollars a year to pay people to basically fill a slot, to fill a quota, because that's effectively what it's going down to. If the government of the lawmakers of New York, the state, want to start forcing diversity, it's not going to have the impact that they want. And it's quite frankly insulting. It's not insulting to just me. It's insulting to anyone who has worked hard in their life for anything. And it's not that people don't need help. All right. It's not that people don't need help. It's why I would be more, if they were to say the 5 million is going to go to put for scholarships or sponsored events or things like that for people, I'd be all down for that. Right. And the reason why they're choosing television over movies is because they know the studio system won't be fuckered by any of this. They won't be bothered by, they won't deal with any of this shit because they know how it works. But TV, they'll go, oh, this is different. This is where we'll have a greater impact. And that is true. They will have a greater impact on TV. You find a lot more female directors on television than you do in feature films. In fact, I believe every single episode of How I Met Your Mother was directed by Pamela Fryman, a woman. 9 seasons of one of the biggest shows ever on TV, directed by a woman. You don't hear her name championed around. You never hear her name championed around, right? Victor Gonzalez, you don't know that name either. Directed pretty much every single episode of Last Man Standing on ABC, a show about a conservative father, patriarch of a family of all women. Every episode directed by a minority. Never hear his name put out there at all. Right? You never hear it. You never hear it because it's not the right kind of oppressed. It's not the right kind of person in that regard, which is why I find these particular bills to be just utterly stupid. Right? These are people that worked their ass off to get to their point. They should be championed and looked up to and respected for working their ass off to get to that point. They worked there. Just like everyone else works to get what they want when it comes to Hollywood. But by forcing people's hands on this, you're going to do nothing but dilute. I think it's going to push people out of the way. It's going to move companies out because they're not going to want to deal with it. And it's not that they don't want to hire women or minorities. It's just like you're forcing their hand. And in this industry, you can't do that because this is the only industry out there where you can legally discriminate, because if a part isn't filled by the right person, by the right looking person, the right sounding person, they can be let go. And that's how entertainment works, because people are filling roles. And even when it's behind the camera, you still want to make sure that people can do what they're going to be able to do. And oftentimes that's done through, people having to run through the festival circuit, having to go through programs, having to go through all of the schooling, all of the things that have to be done in order to get into the industry are almost feel like they're kind of being like just, they're opening up these diversity programs. Oh yes, well, we have $5 million to pay these people salaries, so then it incentivizes them to come onto these shows. It just feels like it feels like a slap in the face for everyone who's working their ass off to get into this industry, because everyone, the thing about Hollywood too is everyone there is really cool because they all know the struggle. They respect each other because they all know the struggle. Yeah, you have your dickheads, you have your douchebags, but for the most part, like 98% of people who work in that industry are some of the coolest motherfuckers you will meet, because they understand what it's like. They're not trying to fuck anyone over. They're not trying to do anything else other than keep themselves working. And they want to work, which means they want to work with other people all the time. And so everyone's always trying to look out for other people as well as themselves. Let's be fair here. But they are looking out for other people, because when they find people they can trust and they can take that higher up the ladder, everyone succeeds that's in a close-knit group. A rising tide raises all ships, so to speak. This is not the same metaphor. A rising tide here won't raise all ships. It will raise one ship or two ships, and everyone else is going to be going like, what the fuck is going on? How come they're all the way the fuck up there? It's not fair. It's not right. It's not, and it spits in the face of people who work their ass off in this industry constantly. And so, no, I don't support anything like this. It has nothing to do with sexism or racism. It's all about racism. It's all about meritocracy. It's all about people who work their ass off to get to where they're at, and they're being shat on by laws like this. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.